Hi, everyone. Ann Butler here. I am back. Lisa is not here today, but we do have an interview with a very creative girlfriend, and I'm excited about that. For those of you that haven't joined us before, I am with Bella Crafts Publishing. I am the founder and publisher, and we do a free magazine 4 times a year. We also do ebooks with designers. And I am going to bring my guest on right now, Rebekah Meier. Yay. It's so nice to see you.
It's good to see you too and all of your followers.
Yeah, I know, right? So, hi, Helen. I'm going to just put hi in the comments real quick. But for those of you that don't know Rebekah, tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, I've been doing this a long time in different areas of the craft industry. I started to make a condensed version, I'll say, I started out doing craft shows, making my own things and selling them. I was very young and my kids were small, so that worked out. I would just stay up at night and make things and sell them at fairs and shows. And then one thing led to another. It led to me designing my own little pattern company called Sweet Annie's, where I typed up my, or did a picture and wrote instructions and did that for a while. And then I fast forward. Well, I started working with magazines where they would buy my projects and
when they used to pay a lot of money.
Yeah, way back.
I remember those days.
Yeah, really, it was wonderful.
It was lovely.
Selling your idea, and you didn't have to sit in a show all day. And then by chance, I know Anne was a member as well, and I've heard her talk about it. I started being a member of Society of Craft Designers, which was a meeting place, a networking place for designers. That's what Anne and I are called, designers, which is a broad title, which many things fall under. But then, that opened up so many possibilities with working with publishers and manufacturers and so on. And we would have a convention once a year where both groups of manufacturers and publishers, blah, 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 would meet. And that opened up opportunities to start writing books and working more with manufacturers. And so, 25 years later, here I am, and I'm still writing books. I've written an ebook with Anne called Paper Art Collage. And
it's a beautiful book.
I really, really enjoyed that book. So that is a paper crafting book, but I also am a collage artist and fiber artist and wear many different hats. And the common thread, so to speak, is the creativity and just joy that crafting brings to me. I couldn't think of anything else that I would be more that I would want to do, spend all these hours every day, Anne knows, working on. And so here I am. One of my latest, and another offshoot of that is product design. So I've been a product designer of stencils with the Crafters Workshop.
For those of you that were part of BellaCon, you've got one of Rebekah's stencils in your box if you got the swag.
And also I design foam stamps and rice papers with an online store called joggles.com, which is JOGGLE.com. And they sell my rice papers, which I have a new release that was just released at the beginning of the month, and
I'm
that's
going to make you full screen. There we go. Oh my goodness, Rebekah, I haven't seen these yet.
okay. So, and these are all done. I create the artwork, and then I digitally, as another layer, digitally create them. That one's got foil on it. And then send them. They go to Italy, and then they come back, and through Joggles, I sell them. So
tell people what rice papers are for those that might not know.
Okay, great. Rice papers are like a mulberry paper, almost identical to mulberry paper, which is a fiber that's a little bit translucent, and there's fibers. I guess you could say, I don't know exactly how they make them. Other than, there's mulberry. I don't know if that's a plant. I don't even know what
in them, and they're kind of translucent, right?
Yeah. So
what size are those?
12 these are no, they're 9x12.
9x12. Okay.
And
those are stunning.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoy making them.
Well, you can do so many things with them too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So
everybody says they're beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful. I love the butterflies. They're beautiful. I think hearing about the whole design process is very special, because a lot of stuff is only computer generated now, which is true, Lauralee. And Rebekah actually, she uses a gel plate and she designs things, and so then you put it all together on the computer.
So it's actually like digital. Well, everything starts with a gel plate, gel printing, and I work up from there. So and I make prints with if you look closely on some of these, this is a good one. All of the like branching and all of that is done on a gel plate, and they're just things I found out in nature. So I do a lot of nature printing, mono printing with found things in nature.
Like, so you do all the colors and then add the leaves and the branches and whatever.
Well, kind of, yeah. So I will, for those of you that don't know what a gel plate is, it's a piece of, I don't know how to describe it, and like jello-y.
It's rubbery.
And it's, I believe maybe like for lack of another word, silicone-like.
I'll grab mine. I'll make you full screen. You can talk for a minute. I'll grab mine.
So online, if you put in gel mono printing, I mean, literally thousands of things will come up, which will give you a step-by-step. And what you do is you apply a medium such as acrylic paint onto that, and while it's still wet, you can put things on it and remove it.
Yes.
So it could be a foam stamp. It could be, like in my case, like some sticks that I've gathered, and then you lift that off and right away put a piece of paper, most commonly is paper, but you can, get into other things.
But yes, most people use paper.
Yeah. And then pull it off, and you have a design.
You get a beautiful print.
Yeah, I can get one.
Okay, so this is one of my gel plates. I have several. This one is dirty, but when you put fresh paint on there, and then you put paper or fabric on there and pull it, it will clean all of this stuff up. So sometimes it's okay to leave it dirty, because this in itself is a print.
Very random, organic. You can never duplicate it.
You can never duplicate it, but it is just fascinating.
So this is what is an example of what Anne just showed. So this is a work in progress of a print that I pulled. And I would do more to this. I would add another layer of like the sticks or the monoprinting, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. And then scan it into my computer and then digitally enhance it as well with things I've scanned in, like other prints that I can layer in, and then end up with something that looks like this.
It is stunning. And the very cool thing about this entire process is sometimes when you're working with a gel plate, you may look at that print you pull off and go, oh, but
Yeah.
you can always fix it.
Always.
There's always an opportunity. You add more to it and it gives it more depth.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's
Texture
so cool.
and so you really can't go wrong
No.
with that at all. And there's just so many different things. I know we sound like we're doing a commercial for gel plates, but they are, and what people used to use, where they would make like in a 13x9 cake pan, they would use Jello, like a clear Jello, to set that up, and it wouldn't last because it was Jello. But until then, they could put the paint on and lift it off and do the all of that. And some brilliant person invented and took it to where it is now, and it's really awesome.
It is, and you can do kind of the same thing. Like I lots of times use shaving cream.
Yep.
And I put all my colors on, and then I do designs, and then I'll put my fabric or paper in there.
Mm-hmm.
You get great prints that way too. Although with shaving cream, the paper has a little smell of the shaving cream.
Mm-hmm.
It goes away, but
Oh, it very
sensitive to it.
And I might add also, so this is, you're actually monoprinting is what this is called. Yep. And you can also, a very inexpensive version, you could do that on freezer paper. Yeah. So do what we just said, but do it on the shiny side of the freezer paper, and you could get similar results.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun, and it's nice to know that the bases of your papers are all something you do in your studio, like Laura-Lee said, and then you just add the digital things to it. Yep. But they're so beautiful. I'm going to make you full screen again. I want you to show them again and let them sit on the screen for a couple seconds so they can see each.
Okay. Like
each paper, because they're so beautiful. Okay. I mean, I think they're all beautiful, but I love that one.
This one, actually, I used alcohol inks in the process. That's another alternative to acrylic paint. So I used the beginning of it, alcohol inks, and those, you get a really random design. That's why I called it watercolor. So this one, I love this color. It comes up a lot in my my work. But you go with what you love, and you just hope other people like it as well. This one was kind of an experiment with joggles. I wanted something that would go with all of my papers. So these are a composition of all different papers that here and there that I created and put them together to create like a striped effect.
It's lovely.
This one is more heavily designed. And one of the other things that when I was designing stencils, I would design mandalas. So a lot of that shows up in my papers as well, because I have them as a digital image, or I will also use them on the gel plate as well. And this one's another nature. These are actual leaves. Writing, I do have a couple stamps that I love and use all the time with just writing or script. Mm-hmm. Or I'll also scan in ephemera, like, which would be, I have a really good library collection of old papers and documents, and which shows up in something like this.
Yeah.
This one, I wanted to leave the center more open so that people that buy them might want to use their own stamps or stencils, or writing, a space where their writing could be more clearly seen. So that's why I kind of left this section plainer.
But I love like the dictionary paper down there in the corner. I mean, I can see that perfect for a journal cover. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah. I'll show you in a minute some of my journals that I've
I know.
This one, circles. That's another element or design that I just love. I think circles go anywhere.
I think my stencils that have circles sell the best.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. Circles, people love them. Yeah.
You could, that one I just showed you would be awesome with Anne's stamps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your foam, and then your are they photopolymer?
Yeah.
Yeah, stamps. So that would give you like this whole area to play with, design. And design, that's another thing I like to do, is give people the ability to design their own stuff.
Yes.
I think that's important. Again, nature. I just pulled the number from a document that I had, and this is an old, very, very old antique wooden stamp that I found that I used. Again, this one I showed. This one's the more nature.
Oh.
And this one, I wasn't sure at first when I got it that I would like the color, but I'm finding it's the same thing as like the more open space. This one would allow you to use bolder things on top of it, and that would make it pop off the paper.
Yeah, just give it more depth and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, there's so many possibilities.
So those are this release, and I've also released several other releases. I've been doing this for a few years, so it's still available on Juggles. But so this is exciting. I really enjoyed doing this. I like simple things. So simple things that don't take long, but they're, you can use them. So these envelopes are going to be the instructions will be in the next, was it the next, Bella?
The summer issue that comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And these are my papers, but you could use, whatever papers you want. But they're really fun because it's super easy. These things come together really, really easily. But they're just an envelope that you can put stuff in.
But could you imagine getting that as a gift? I mean, they're just so pretty.
Yeah. And again, I save everything. So old and new. These are some Tim Holtz paper things that I got. This is a piece of postage that I collected. And I also, in this one, I combined my papers with just a piece of old ledger paper. Yeah. So you can, mix and match. They lend themselves well to do that. This one, I started, this is also one of the papers, and I wanted to experiment with leafing, which is kind of ironic, Anne, because the technique for this is in
your book,
Paper Art Collage. So it kind of like, isn't that funny how things work out?
Yeah,
I didn't do that on purpose. I just thought of that I was playing around with it. But so they work really nice for tags.
Oh, yeah.
And as you can see, I like butterflies. So this is a book, like a journal that I've started. And this one actually the inside is made of muslin. So they're muslin pages. So anything.
Was that a pre-made book or did you make it?
No, I created it.
Yep.
From muslin.
Yep.
And to keep the paper stiff, this is a good tip. So anything that you can do with paper, you can do on fabric, basically. So they're the same surface. To keep this stiff and not as floppy as a normal, not normal, but regular muslin book would be, I just painted the pages with a gel medium. Or you could use like a Mod Podge or just regular glue.
To give it oomph.
Yeah. If that's what you want, you might just want to leave it unprimed, and then you
unprimed,
stitch it. So that's just a preference. This one is actually a book of that I got from Joggles, and I thought, oh, that would be cool. And it's I'm using it as a like a swatch book. These are my what do you call them? Washi tape paper, or washi tape
samples, so that you know what you have.
Yeah, and so that's what this book is going to be. Is just all, and what it actually is bookmarks, a bookmark pad of bookmarks.
Cool.
So you could, and then the front of it, I don't know if you can see, another fun thing to do with my papers is to use die cutting. So these are all, I want to go over these with something to make them pop a little bit, but they're Sizzix die cuts. And I also use a lot like Eileen Hull's stuff. She has really cool, like bookmaking, and then also die cuts as well. What else do we got here? So this is an example of putting the papers on a journal book that I was purchased. So this is just covering the purchased little book. So you don't, a simple, just a little journal.
So it's quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Thank you.
Well, and I love quick and easy that does not look quick and easy.
Yeah.
So that would be my technique.
Yeah.
I
love that.
But yes.
And I love, anything with this. This is one of the pieces of one of the papers, and I fussy cut it. And then again, this is a book that I've started, and it's going to be for tags.
Wow.
And what else do we have here? One of the other things, because I like to experiment. I know if you buy papers, and you use them up or whatever, you like to always add stuff or take stuff off. So what I mean by that is this is one of my original papers, and it was a black and white. And what I did with this was using the gel plate to, like you were saying in the beginning, to clean it. So I, instead of putting acrylic, I'm getting detailed, but instead of using an acrylic to lift off the dirty stuff, I just used a matte medium.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like clear.
Clear, yep.
Yeah, clear acrylic, basically. That's what it is. So that was fun. And one of my things I do to relax.
I'll need that.
Yeah, right. So I just take, this is like 140 weight watercolor paper. And I'll just take my scraps from all of my papers and just start layering them on. And just, not even really thinking so much. And then coming back in, it's kind of like when I design digitally. But I'll come in and put some paint splatters or, dilute some white paint and just kind of flick it on, or, found pieces of whatever. So this I could, cut into making tags or a journal cover, or I might just even frame it and for inspiration in my workroom too.
This is why we never throw away those tiny bits.
Never,
It,
ever.
Yep.
Yeah. So these are some of my past papers. And again, like I said, it's just it's just making a collage out of leftover papers.
So those are some of your past papers. Are they still available?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. Perfect. And that's on joggles.com.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, your stuff is so gorgeous.
Thank you, Anne. And then I like to do, this would be like a home deck item. So this one is one of my earlier papers, and I just adhered it to a wood canvas, and then just put a coat of like Mod's Podge or varnish or something on top to protect it. And the same with this one. So these are just little things, like if you wanted to give a gift, or again, if you have, little pieces of paper or whatever.
And just those little canvases, I mean, you can take literally a piece of your paper and put it on a canvas, and that's a work of art.
Yes.
Because you've done all of the details, and it's so layered and so beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's just, what was that again? Oh, here, I'll put in the link for Joggles.
Okay.
And then you can find her stuff there. So,
and I do have a website. I must admit that I'm not good at keeping it updated, but I do want to accrue a mailing list so I can mail to you if I've got anything new, and that's at Rebekah-Meier. I don't know if it's net or com.
Is it .com? I'm looking right now.
Thank you.
Yep, I got it. I grabbed it.
And Instagram is one of my favorites. I love Instagram.
So there you can find her website. And Instagram, are you Rebekah Meier or Rebekah-Meier?
Rebekah Meier.
Okay. So
the same on Facebook as well.
Yeah. But yeah, your stuff is so beautiful. And okay, so like her paper art collage book, it's an ebook. Her and I both have a hard copy, because when an author does a book with me, I always send them a copy, and I prefer hard copies, even though we do digital books. This is available print on demand, but it is so pretty, because like she'll have a full size sample of the technique she's showing, and then it's a step-by-step of that technique. And I think I don't remember, there's over 12 techniques in here.
A lot of foil, really.
A lot of foil. And then in the back, she has a gallery of some of her assemblages, and those are beautiful too. So this is on our website. But I think I've known Rebekah since her and I were both in SCD, so 20 some years. Everybody, all the interviews, I'm like, I've known this person over 20 years. But really, when you meet creative girlfriends, you just are, because you think the same and you do the same thing.
Life.
Yeah. I mean, you might not see each other all the time, but I know I can call Rebekah up and say, hey, and we just catch up. Or, when my full quilting stamps first came out, I said, Rebekah, if I send you stamps, would you create something? I'm going to make the screen. Rebekah can show you something. I'll grab the pillow she created with my stamps. It is one of my prized possessions.
Oh, and it was so fun. What can I show? Golly. Okay, so this is actually paper or excuse me, fabric, a piece of muslin, and instead of collaging on paper, as I showed you with the watercolor, I did it on a piece of muslin. And what's cool about this is, it's actually a piece of fabric with, I call it paper fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can use this, and the fun thing is, see if it'll tear. Yeah. You can
Isn't that cool? I love that.
Just like you would paper. And then I use it either as fabric, or you can machine stitch or hand stitch or whatever on it.
I know there's so many possibilities, and I prefer fabric. I do a lot of paper, but I actually went to school for fashion design. So I have been doing fabric since, I could get up at that sewing machine and say, Mom, I want to make things. But this is the pillow.
One of your quilts, right? You hand quilted a quilt.
Yeah, I have hand quilted quite a few quilts till I found out
that is so impressive, Anne.
Okay. I used to think it wasn't a quilt unless you hand quilted it, because you got to put the work in. Well, it's not true. Yeah. Now I know that. Yeah. I mean, that first quilt I made, I used a sheet for the background. I didn't have much money. It was for my oldest son. I mean, he was a baby at the time. But I made a full-size quilt. And I did the poke and jab method because I wanted those stitches so close together. I didn't want to do, now I can do this, but I wanted those stitches so close. So on the back, from where I kept hitting my fingers and blood all over, it was like I had to keep cleaning the blood off. But this is a pillow that Rebekah did with my 1-inch and 2-inch faux quilting stamps. And most people would just make a pillow, but Rebekah always goes that extra step. And she made this beautiful flower that's wrapped around the pillow. But look isn't that just absolutely gorgeous?
Again, and that was so easy with your stamps, because you need to tell people they're not just a stamp. You have,
I have a patent on the stamps.
Yes.
And they have no edge. So they go together like puzzle pieces, or to create quilt blocks or backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And that way you're able to put them all up right next to each other.
Which is very cool.
And create beautiful patterns. But this pillow, I mean, and everything Rebekah does is kind of vintagey. Mm-hmm. Is what I call your style. Mm-hmm. It's vintage, and your papers reflect that.
Oh, thank you.
So I would love for you guys to check out her papers. I do not have a affiliate link maybe I do have an affiliate link with Joggles. Let me look real quick, because Rebekah didn't give me one either.
I don't know if I do, to be honest with you. It's kind of like my website. There's only so many hours in a day, but it's something I want to build upon. I think it's important.
It is. I mean, there's only so much time to get things done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so I'm just gonna check real quick and see. I do have, imagine that, I do have an affiliate link for Joggles.
Awesome.
So I'll put that in. Here's my affiliate link. And so if you guys order through that link, we get a small percentage. It doesn't cost you anymore. It just helps us to keep doing what we're doing, and make a little money.
And, on Joggles, if, they have quantity, if and when they sell out, they do replenish them. So it's not just a one-time thing. So,
which is nice.
Yeah.
That's because some companies will order 10,000 of something. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And some will order 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know what's going to sell. But when a company can keep remaking things,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Yeah. So that is very nice. I'm going to look and see if there were any questions in here. I just saw lots of beautiful comments. Glad I didn't miss this. Great idea, layering. I never gave that a thought. Cool bookmarks. Love the text on the paper. It looks like coffee rings, your circles.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee
Actually, I do that a lot. I'll use, gosh, nothing is off limits. I think I just threw it away. I was cleaning my studio nice for when I was on. Anyway, I have an actual detergent cap, and a lot of times I'll just dip that in the paint and then stamp it on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I keep things like when I showed them how to make yo-yos a few weeks back, I still have the top of our old percolator coffee.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Percolator. That is what I used for my very first yo-yo quilt because it was a good size.
Yeah.
And
that is so cool.
Yeah. When you find something that works, you keep it. It doesn't have to always be a tool that you purchased.
Right.
Look around and see what kind of things you can use.
Yeah. When you open your mind and you start seeing things, you're like, oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you never know. I mean, because like the first yo-yo quilt I made, I was going to use like a coffee plate, the little, but it was too big.
Yeah.
So I needed something smaller. I kept looking around the house, but the percolator cover was perfect. And yeah, you look around. We need to throw some things away. I know.
Yeah.
But
it's hard
for the most part.
And I guess we could say we're recyclers.
Oh, that's a good, yeah. Yep. And we have to keep making bigger studios.
Yeah.
To hold all of the stuff, right?
Because I've done that. I've done a studio cleanup and thrown stuff away, i.e. cigar boxes that I didn't think I would use because I had so many. And sure enough.
Mine are all up there.
Yep. In fact.
Love the cigar box. Well, the ones my son didn't take away from me because he liked one of my sons.
Them?
Huh?
Does he use them for something?
He just puts stuff in them because he doesn't throw anything away either.
That's cool. And this one, I just put some of my paper on. This little one, and I can't even tell. Oh, I know what's in here. These are, I use it for molds.
Like perfect.
Paper clay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this little box of stuff.
Sorry about that. Christine said, do either of you have the Create box? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
I have an emergency call. I'm going to let Rebekah talk for just a second. Oh, okay. No, the call ended. Never mind. I'll call them back. I have a family member that is not doing well. So, but I'll call back. The Create box. Oh, the Dream box? No.
I don't know what that is either.
The Dream box. Okay. So it's like an armoire.
Okay.
And it closes. And then it opens up and it has all these shelves and everything. And in the center, it has a table that comes down.
Cool.
And they're beautiful for people that are in a tight space.
Mm-hmm.
Rebekah and I, our kids are grown.
Mm-hmm.
I have a house where I brought 5 children up. So I have a very large house, and so I have like my studio here. I have a sewing room upstairs. I feel kind of spoiled, but it is my job. So, but
But
the green box thing is perfect if you have no space.
I started out my kitchen closet and
Yep.
worked on my kitchen table,
Yep.
which come dinner time, I just shove everything back in the closet.
Into
And
little boxes.
yep.
Yep. Always. No, I remember that too. Or things would be in the basement inside the cellar room,
Hmm.
and
Do what you have to do.
you do. And like, okay, so if I turn this, you guys can see right over here. So like I have a giant printer that prints 18 by 13 by 18, I think. And then I have a toner printer, laser printer, and sublimation printer. And then I have a printer over here that does labels. My oldest grandson was over and he said, "So how many printers do you have, Grandma?" And I said, "Well, your Papa Matt builds houses. How many drills does he have?" And he went, "What?" And I said, "Well, these are my tools of
Hmm.
my business."
Hmm.
And it makes sense. Thank you, Christine. Prayers from my family. Thank you so much. It's been a long week, but yeah. So we all start out at different places. I think that the dream boxing, I have never seen one in person. I have only seen them. I know girlfriends who have them. And if you don't have the room, I know they're very expensive though. That's my, I think what those cost, I bought all of my shelves for, but I have the room,
Hmm.
but whatever fits. But like Rebekah said, we worked at our kitchen tables, and I had my sewing machine in the dining room,
Hmm.
and I made my kids' clothes. I made all the curtains in the house. I mean, but I always cleaned up afterwards, so it never looked like it was a mess, right? They are very expensive. Yeah, I think they are, because I know that, I know back when I bought my shelves, I thought it was a whole lot of money, but in reality, it wasn't compared to
Hmm.
one of those. So yeah, it's nice to use what you have, and the cigar boxes are great for that, because like I used to actually take, and I have a couple still downstairs, cardboard corrugated boxes, that the nice ones that you get at the store sometimes, or like the ones that paper comes in so you have the lid.
Hmm.
And I would decoupage
Cool.
old magazine clips and stuff
Hmm.
on there, and then I would put trim on the inside,
Hmm.
and they'd be pretty.
Beautiful.
So I had those downstairs. I still have some, but yeah. So any other questions for Rebekah? What would you guys make with her papers? That would be a good idea.
That's a great question
She
because
is
that's
gonna have,
helpful to me.
right. She's gonna have the envelope in the magazine so you can see how she created it. But what would you guys create with it? I think my favorite thing is, well, I love the journals, but I love it on fabric,
Hmm.
because you can sew it. You can do anything you want with it, right? Once it's on there. So I'm not seeing any questions.
Much more people are doing it. Oh, I like junk journaling.
Young journaling.
Sure.
And those are perfect for that,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's collage, mixed media cards.
Yep.
Yes, those would be pretty too.
That'd be
And
beautiful.
tags. I love tags.
Tags are so cool. Do you guys know kind of a history of the whole tag thing? Her name was, maybe you remember this, Anne, Sarah Lugg. Do you
Mhm,
remember her?
mhm,
And that had to have been about 20 or 25 years ago. I remember her being at that time it was CHA, which was the trade show for the craft industry.
mhm.
And she wrote a couple books and had a product line with, I want to say maybe Midwest, or I know I saw it at Marshall Fields that year. And she kind of took the idea of a plain manila tag and collaged on it with, and did like her whole wedding with that and everything. And I always think of her as the founder of the tag movement. There might have been other people, but if you Google her name, you'll see old pictures and stuff of her, and to think of how she started it and what it's become now.
Right.
So commonplace. And I always reach for tags.
I like tags when I'm testing things and checking colors and maybe doing a new stamp impression because they're small, but when you're done, you have a little piece that you can put in a journal, or you can put, on a bag, a gift bag. Yeah, there's so much you can do with them. It's not like a big piece that you're going, where am I going to start?
Yeah, exactly.
Christine says ATCs. Yes.
Yes. I love ATCs.
I haven't made any for so long. I used to be part of a group where we'd exchange them every month.
Actually, right now, what I've been doing this week, I'm designing some stencils for ATCs.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, little ones.
Oh, fun. See, there's always something.
Yeah, and everything, canvas bags for sure.
Yeah, that'd be pretty, Helen.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to make sure you guys all like, comment, and share this live. You can be watching on Facebook or YouTube, and with the hashtag Bella Crafts to be entered in for next week's giveaway. I think Rebekah was going to give something away.
Can I show, or?
You can show.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful? She's going to give away one of her envelopes. And so you just have to do hashtag Bella Crafts so we can find you, find your comment, find where you shared, whatever. And it all goes into a randomizer. And then we keep this open until midnight Central Time on Tuesday. That way everybody has a chance, because not everybody can watch us live, but everybody has a chance to enter. And then we will announce the winner next week. It's gorgeous. Yes, it is, Laura Lee.
Karen, that's wonderful. Yeah, Mod Podge is such a great thing to have.
It is. It is. I buy it by the... I mean, I buy the little ones if I'm teaching, but, I buy the big one because I go through so much of it. But I want to announce the last 2 weeks winners because I didn't announce anybody last week. I didn't get around to picking. But there's 2 winners, and they're going to win a sampler kit of my toner papers. And the first winner is Gina Ward. I don't think Gina's here today. Gina. And the second winner is Kelly Stoller. I'm not sure if Kelly's here either. But Gina and Kelly, you will each be sent a package of, they're assorted, so that might not be the one you get, but it's some of my toner papers and the black toner and a few sentiments also. So Gina will be so happy. Yes, I think she will. But yeah, so those are the 2 winners from the last 2 weeks. We try not to get behind like that, but last week we hadn't gotten around to picking, and Lisa's been on and off with all of her stuff, and she's usually the one that does the randomizer. Took me a long time to be able to say randomizer. But make sure you guys enter for next week because everybody's going to want that beautiful envelope of Rebekah's. So pretty.
And there might be a surprise inside.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me and sharing your beautiful stuff with our audience.
It has been a pleasure. So great.
It is. It's always good to be able to chat crafty goodness, right?
Always, always.
Yes. I want to make sure that I end this with take a little time to craft because it's good for your soul, and we all know that. And we will see you back here next week. It is, I think, July 2nd, so right before the 4th of July. But we will be back here. I think Lisa will be back. I'm not 100% sure. She had appointments unexpectedly the last 2 days. So if not, for sure, I will be back at 2 o'clock. And don't forget tonight, 9 p.m. Central Time, the pajama party. So
check that out.
Yeah, you're going to have to check it out. You're going to have to come on and be a guest too.
Awesome.
But the pajama party is tonight at 9 p.m. And Juliana Avalar from the Jewel Loom, she is going to be sharing a fabulous project. So you want to make sure you check that out. So we will see you all this evening, otherwise next week.